Okay, if I start sneezing and coughing, I got a cold. Sorry. Alright, let's do a little bit of Raw. First, I can't say I'm enjoying what's going on with Heath Slater. I think it's kind of stupid. Second, the entire show itself was a smack in the face to any wrestling fan who has been complaining for the last 6 months to a year to the WWE. Let's be honest here. Seth Rollins was us, and Baron Corbin was Vince, and Vince made it very clear. He wanted people to know how he felt. So Baron Corbin is the fall guy here. He is. He's standing in for Vince. And Vince made it very clear. Screw all of you. I'm doing what I want. That's what Vince said. Through Baron Corbin. Fuck you. I'm sorry for the language, but you get my point. And I've seen a couple of videos so far, like the Lex Man, like the Wrestling Inc. podcast, a couple of others that, I can't remember the names of them, that they actually gave somewhat of a positive spin on this Raw. And I gotta say this, I'm surprised. This is reverse psychology. They're trying to make you feel like you've accomplished something by at least acknowledging you. And if anyone really believes that now the product is going to be better, you got another thing coming. The product's going to now be worse. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode being champs means nothing. There's no tag division. The IC title, what does it mean if Baron Corbin is given that option and he didn't win it? Because right now Dean and Seth suck. You actually could have done something stupid and would piss you off, but it would be something different. And they give us exactly what we always get by the numbers. The face who has the title keeps it at the end of the show against adversity. Boring. This show sucked. And I had to say it. Now, Smackdown Live, on the other hand, was a better show. It wasn't incredibly great, but it was better. Going into this TLC, I find that Smackdown Live has a much more stronger presence than Raw. It's obvious. It's obvious. Now, Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali. I'm not going to go through everything that Daniel Bryan said. He is an environmentalist. Crank to 10. He is an actual environmentalist. He is a vegan in many cases. No, he is a vegan, like Austin Aries. And in this situation, his beliefs, his ideals, his opinions have been cranked to 10. As I've said before, an environmentalist in real life is a double-edged sword. They don't 100% care 100% about society. They care about the environment. They don't truly try to find 100% of balance. They just don't. And it's not that they're not justified in some ways. So when it comes to the segments that he did it well as a heel. And I gotta say this. As a heel, Daniel Bryan's good. But it really upsets me to see that we spent 8 months or 9 months of time when he was still general manager, when he transitioned back into the ring, when he was wrestling in the ring, when he went to The Miz, and when he went to AJ, that majority of his time sucked. It sucked. And now when I see him like this, yes, he's doing a good heel work. As long as he isn't a chicken shit and runs away. I'm sorry for the cursing, but you get my point. If he doesn't run away every single time, he's fine. If he does, for no apparent reason, I'm not going to care. And to a certain extent, before this, with Mustafa Ali, he was running away. So I really don't 100% care. Now, during his talk, I noticed that his belt has the plates back on, and now they say the new Daniel Bryan. I gotta say this, I take offense to that. If he's going to take off the old plates, he should keep them off and just say, I am the new Daniel Bryan. He doesn't need plates. He doesn't need what they call capitalism. He proves that he doesn't need their name. That would have been better for him as a heel, as an environmentalist, and one who's been cranked to 10. And when it went to Mustafa Ali, he was an environmentalist. He asked him when Mustafa basically said, yeah, I don't know who you are. We care about you in 205 Live. You inspired a lot of us. Who the hell are you? And he said simply as an environmentalist, what car do you drive? He said, what? What car do you drive? Well, I don't know what precedence this gives, but I drive an SUV. why a small man like you drives an SUV? And he says, you know I have kids, and smacks his ass in the face, saying, fool, I believe he said that. And then they go into the match. I know there's a little more smacking, but I'm just going to go from there. How was the match? Let's put it like this. I can say with Daniel Bryan, he's a more well-rounded wrestler. He does some high flying, he does some high impact, and he does grapple wrestling. Mustafa Ali is mainly high flying. And as talented as Mustafa Ali is as a high flyer, he is lacking as a grappler or high impact guy. And to be honest, that is a problem for me personally. Doesn't mean I don't like him. That when he's doing high flying, he doesn't do a great job. But he needs to be more well-rounded, because it shows that he's locked in only one mode, and honestly, it hurts somebody. It hurts himself, to be honest. In the end, if I remember correctly, he made him tap out. Mustafa Ali got tapped out by Daniel Bryan doing a heel hook. It was a good match for what it was. But in the end, what does it really give Mustafa Ali? Yes, it shows him from 205 Live to Smackdown. It could be a nice transition, but I just don't know if they will transition him. And they do need him. That's just me. Let's move on to the Miz and Shane McMahon segment, when you got the Miz begging Shane to come out and pleading with him to become his tag partner. And he still says no. Then you got the jobbers from Las Vegas. I believe that, what was it? The Las Vegas boys. The Vegas boys, who had been paid off by the Miz to attack Shane McMahon, who abruptly, after getting knocked to the floor, proceeded to kick the ass of both of them, then put one into a submission, I believe, and submitted his ass just like Daniel Bryan. That was a surprise. 2 submissions in one show. You don't usually see it all the time. After that happened, Paige was mad that the ref allowed the match to even happen, the ref stating, hey, the Miz said you did it. Then the jobbers come out saying, hey, we want $5,000 apiece, because we were told by Miz you would pay us. And she ripped up their paper indicating their work and demanded them to leave. Then you got Miz, and then you got Shane. Pretty much in the back, Shane mad as hell, saying, why did you pay those bastards to hurt me? And the Miz made it very clear, and this was surprising that he said this. He said, look, we got something special. I have never been considered best in the world. I have movie career. I have had WrestleMania moments. I have been champion. But I've never been considered the best in the world until you. Be my partner, please. And Miz gets the shaft. He is not getting anywhere with Shane McMahon. So the question is going to be, how long will it be before he kicks his ass? It's coming. I don't know if this is really good, but it's coming. This is what we got. Now, let's go to, it's been a while to see something stupid on Smackdown Live that is so bad, it almost is good. The rap battle between Usos and the Bar. What was Sheamus and Cesaro wearing? Run DMC? No, not Run DMC. The Beastie Boys are the only ones I knew that dressed like that. Because Run DMC, they look cool, man. They came out in leather, they came out in black. And then Run DMC always came out in the jumpsuits. They always came out with the sweat clothes, the sweat clothes and stuff. I'm just saying. That was during my era, so. Well, actually, I was never big in rap anyway, so I was more of a dance person. Anyway, was the rap funny? Ice, Shamey. What the fuck? Ice, Shamey. Dun, 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 dun. Damn my face! What the frack was that? That was the worst Vanilla Ice ripoff I've seen in so long. It was so amazingly bad. It was semi-funny. And I know I'm going to get flack for that. I know they sucked doing rap. They didn't get anywhere with it. But it was still so incredible. It's like an incredibly bad B movie. It is so bad, it can transition to being actually kind of good. Because you wouldn't expect some people to use such horrible effects. They make you laugh, they make you interested, and that's what you got there for at least a minute or so. Then you got the Usos. And they pretty much nailed Sheamus for what he was wearing, particularly that he had to cut in the top of his hat for his hair, which was just beyond nuts. Why would he do that? Then they went after Cesaro, talking about his teeth getting jammed up into his mouth. I know that myself because right now I got to get wisdom teeth pulled out because my teeth are out of whack. I'm gonna have to make a video eventually saying to you guys that I'm going to have to get my teeth pulled, and I don't know when I'm going to be doing videos. I got to talk to some relatives to help me do it because I freak out in the dentist. I don't know why I'm saying this right now, but it's coming, and I might as well say it now. I will be eventually going to the dentist to get my teeth pulled, and I have no idea how long it'll be before I'll talk. Maybe within a couple of, I don't know. I'm freaking sorry. The Usos, they did what they did. It wasn't a bad rap. Actually, it wasn't. I wouldn't mind seeing the Usos, Jimmy or Jay, go up against John Cena. At least when he was rapping at one point. Because I know John wasn't incredibly great, but I wouldn't have mind seeing the banter between the three. I actually would have liked to see that. But in the end, we got a beat down and the bar is standing on top. Oh, and the New Day is all dressed up in suits because they're the host and... Anyway, it was okay for what it was. The Ice Shamey was funny. For what it was. Let's just move on. The Randy Orton promo was good. The only problem I have is this. It should be for a title. Randy Orton should be dealing with Rey Mysterio because of a title, not this. It just feels a bit empty. And when you see Rey come out after the 2 video packages that were done back to back showing how messed up Rey Mysterio got beaten the hell down by Randy Orton, it was alright. But then it feels a bit empty. Even though you could say with Randy Orton, he's trying to destroy the legacy of anyone else other than himself. But in this situation, I think a title is necessary. Because this is not enough. It just isn't. And this leads me into the tag match with... And this angers me so badly. Shinsuke Nakamura and Joe versus Jeff and Rusev. 4 guys. 4 freaking guys who are doing nothing. Nothing. If anyone believes Rusev is going to be great with that U.S. title, think again. How many times he got that U.S. title? Where did he go with it? Nowhere. Nowhere. If he wins it off of Shinsuke, it means nothing. I wanted to see Rey get that title, and then you can have Rey go up against Randy Orton for that title, because Randy has had that title once now. Once. He's never held it before the time about, I think, last year. So, seeing that they will fight over that, that would be a fresh, interesting feud. This is not. And why does Shinsuke Nakamura have to wear blue? I liked him in red. He looked better. It didn't really matter what happened here, particularly that you got Rusev pinning Shinsuke Nakamura. I believe it was Rusev. Was it Rusev? Wait a minute. I gotta look and see. I don't remember. I think it was Rusev who got the pin, who submitted Shinsuke Nakamura or pinned him. So we really didn't get anything. And I know people are going to say, what about Joe and Jeff Hardy? Look, this isn't the first time they ever did anything about addiction. Look what happened about 7 to 8 years ago. No, 7 years ago with CM Punk dealing with... I know that CM Punk is not an alcoholic. And Chris Jericho is messing him because of his dad. But that was about alcoholism and how it affected CM Punk in his life because of how his father was. In this case, Jeff, who is known to be alcoholic and doing some level of drugs before, has had some problems with the law, particularly drinking. And in this situation, we've seen it before. And the problem here is, if Joe is supposed to go after him, he should be doing it with a title. Joe should have already been WWE champion already. And he's not. So as far as I'm concerned, Joe is illegitimate. He may be one of the best talkers in that company. He still does great work in the ring, even though he's been getting hurt lately. It means nothing if he doesn't win the big one. So I don't care. I'm sorry, I just don't. Now, let me see, am I forgetting anything? If I forgot anything, I'm sorry. Now the last segment of the night. What would I call this? Kendo Maniacs. Or Kendo Maniac. Or Kendo Mania or something. I don't know what I'm going to call it. But you got the kendo stick was the highlight of the show. You got Charlotte versus Asuka, which I know people are going to say, well, this was a great match. I'm sorry. This isn't about if Charlotte was able to do the job properly. She was in the ring with someone who's incredibly seasoned compared to her. As I said before, she has to work with someone who she's familiar with or who is incredibly capable of compensating for her to be able to make the match work. Charlotte cannot adapt. She's not that good. She's got great potential, but as the daughter of Ric Flair, she copies her dad. And that has always been an issue with me personally. But when she's with someone who knows her well, or who's a very great seasoned veteran, she looks fine. So there was no problem with the match. It was a good match. But the problem is, this was not the time to do this. You know what would have been better? I know people are going to say, what? Yes. Royal Rumble would have been the right time to do it, because then it would have meant something at a signature pay-per-view, which is one of the big four. This was a waste of a great match. It was. Charlotte did a good job. Asuka did a good job. And in the end, and I'm not going to say what holds they did. I did grab a couple of images, so you have been seeing it. But in the end, it was a very good match. I'm not against the match. I'm just saying they should never gave it away on Smackdown Live. They should have done it at... Well, I know it has to be done at Royal Rumble, but it could have been done at Elimination Chamber if it had to go farther than Royal Rumble, if they couldn't fit it. But in the end, Charlotte, excuse me, Charlotte could not beat Asuka. She got so angry, like she did with Ruby Riott, I think the reason I said Ronda Rousey's name than Ruby Riott is because I rather not think about this. Why would Charlotte need to beat the crap out of a Asuka? It doesn't really work for her. It makes no sense. Now, of course, it makes sense with Becky and Asuka to use the kendo stick, but Charlotte, no. Charlotte becoming so unhinged that she had to go and grab a kendo stick to beat up on Asuka to DQ the match, to be honest, felt cheap. It did. It felt cheap. It really did feel cheap. It didn't feel like a heel tendency. It just felt like something out of place. And in the end, you got all three women wailing on each other with a kendo stick, with Asuka, the land of the rising sun where the kendo stick came from, wailing on them both. And in the end, Asuka holds the kendo stick over everyone's head. But I'm going to say this. Was this a good show? It was okay. But in the end, it really didn't give us a lot. It really didn't help progress a lot of people. Yeah, it's alright for the pay-per-view, but afterward means nothing. And I think instead of talking about the reverse psychology of Raw and what could be doing with Smackdown, I'll do it for another video. Watch for it. I think either I'll upload it after this or tomorrow. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.